This is Listening with Franklin Livingston, and our guest is Marie Catherine Massie.
As an actor, for example, if I just stay in my house, I never go outside, and I never go to auditions or submit myself for auditions, like even if like I pray to God, I don't think like the phone's gonna ring and they're gonna be like, "Oh, we want you to be the lead on
No,
this
the
next
word
movie."
doesn't work like that. No,
That's not how it works.
no. What I meant was, um, it's an extreme example. Say you wanna win awards, and you think that there's no such role you have played in the past 5 years that might have really given you given you the ability to show your talent or show yourself or show you as a hot woman,
Mhm.
and you decide, okay, it's not working out for me in this one, so I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I'm gonna join porn industry, and most likely I'll be successful there because I'm really hot, and then if I win an award, I'm gonna be on a pedestal, and then media will be after me. You might be successful, right? Now it comes with a price. Then will you be able to walk in Williamsburg or Bushwick easily? Everyone will recognize you. You walk into it.
I
So
don't know if everyone recognizes you.
mostly people do. So
Really? I don't.
depend.
I couldn't.
Oh, okay, all right. Shall I ask you names? And you're like, oh, I know that is okay. So that's as I said, that's an extreme example. Or like, leave that. You plan on kidnapping people for ransom.
That's a great idea to fund my feature film.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
you should rob a bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing where some otherwise, let's say, uh, now a person does that, gets caught, and then they're in prison for 25 to 27 years. So that's what I meant. That surrendering, knowing everything is not for everyone. If 1,000 people go to tons of schools, acting schools, filmmaking schools in Northeast, including Connecticut and New York and New Jersey. Uh, how many of them win Oscar? Right? You can try, but again, sometimes, like, do you know a formula? Do you know a recipe that exactly how to make your film win an Oscar? Some things are not even to do with money. It's just like some things are not meant for some people, but it's that pill which is.
So you think there's a destiny? You think like we're predetermined to do things?
No, destiny is different, determined is different, but call or role, I think, might be the term I would use, that everyone has to play their part. And it sounds Shakespearean, but
But what if you don't want to play your part?
then you struggle. Actually, what happens is when you don't want to play, is that you have that constant battle with your inner self,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you're not at peace like Hamlet,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I don't want to start doing a monologue here, but the idea is your inner person, your soul, your spirit, your conscience, or whatever. Different people use different words. That is in conflict with your outer person when the wants or desires are different, and people struggle with that. The extreme example is then going cuckoo. But yeah, a lot of people that struggle with that struggle with depression and anxiety. And even like, I have a couple of friends who were just like, when they'll hold a mug and like this because they wanted to be an actor. They thought I'm the most talented person. But the industry doesn't view them that way. That's why, or whatever word you want to use, it's not in their journey to go through that experience. And you are trying to get on that journey,
Mm-hmm.
but say your route does not have A train in it. But if you really want to ride the A train, um it's going to change a little bit of topic, but then people seek certain people and go to them and say that manipulate my journey. Still, it doesn't work out for everybody because some people, their call is so set, their journey is so set because they have to play a particular role and then go on. For example, today it was set for you to come here and do the show,
Yeah.
right? You could have tried, but then I don't know how. But you were meant to come. We were meant to talk, and I strongly believe in that because there are a lot of people I talk, and I would forget to call them, and that's another thing. And after a couple of months, I was like, oh my god, they might have thought I am a hole, but it's just like because you are there are different ways to understand it in the spiritual world. Let's say
Mhm.
we all are connected, we all are energy, we all sense each other, and then in the Christian world it's the Holy Spirit. If your will is aligned with the will of God, then the Holy Spirit tells you what to do, what not. But it's not like a again Star Wars type transmitting or cell phone service. It's like, as an example, because you talked about Bollywood, there's a star, like really big star, and their stars are stars. Because the reason is Bollywood is celebrated and used to be watched in Russia, Jamaica, and these islands, and
Mhm.
Nigeria, and African. So I was like, wow, even in Egypt and all those.
Mhm.
So there are three or four mega stars, and one guy said he used to wait tables and then he used to play drums, but he was tall and he had nice jawline.
Cheekbones.
Yeah. So someone said, hey, you want to be a model? He said, yeah. Okay. uh, they arranged a meeting with a modeling agency. He had a flight he was supposed to take at 6 or 6ish a.m., and for some reason he his alarm didn't go off and he slept in. He got late.
You missed the flight.
He missed the flight. The same day, he told, later in the afternoon or evening, he received a call from a film director. Hey, you want to be in my movie? Come for the audition, right? And fast forward 20 years, he became one of the biggest stars of the industry.
That's crazy.
And yeah, it's crazy, right? So he said, had he responded to his opportunity, but first of all, he was not able to because
Mhm.
he was just like we view sometimes things more like whose fault was it that he didn't wake up? His phones or his or whatever, right? But there was a higher power uh, at work. So I don't know what word he would use because he's neither Muslim nor Christian. So in his own,
The universe.
sure, whatever he uses, I don't know. And whatever powers was at play, that power had a better plan for him. Now, here's the difference. For some people, that plan doesn't work out for years, like Moses.
Hmm.
You know the character Moses and the biblical
Yeah,
character?
yeah.
Yeah. Because there are a lot of movies on Moses.
Hmm.
So Moses was in the wilderness, I think, for 7 years. And after 7 years, he was asked to go to the Pharaoh. But just imagine, like, you're on the road for 7 years, the road to Kentucky or road to West Virginia, and you're like, I don't know where I'm going to. That becomes really painful,
Hmm.
really frustrating, and all that. But that's what I meant, that your journey has stops and your journey has ups and downs. And because you are fulfilling God's call in this world, whatever word you want to use, because in the end of the day you're part of this fabric, you're part of this system. Different people use different terminologies,
Hmm.
and and the money works the same way too. And I wish we all had accepted that. And I said that once, maybe in this show.
Wait. So you mean that you think some people are just meant to be poor because it's their place in the world that was decided for them?
That's a very different conversation, but let me actually say it this way. The story I told already, I'll repeat it. In Bangkok, I realized Bangkok had less customers or tourists as compared to a few years ago. Because I think after the pandemic, I did not go there until this last year.
Mm-hmm.
Went to a plaza, and they call plaza the shopping malls.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're great when it's super warm, by the way. Like you can go because they have like air conditioning.
Yeah, it was still air conditioned, and
Because I'm not a big fan of shopping, but I've been to those because I was just
right. And this wasn't the one fancy one for tourists. This was more like localish type.
Okay, cool.
And went there. It had 5 floors, and I was looking for clothes. And I went to each floor, and I noticed, and it was afternoon, like 2-ish. Then it's a little hot outside, and there's a weird quietness, and you hear the sound of the fan and AC, and people are yawning, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I might be fourth or fifth customer I saw there. Rest of them were local customers. I was the only foreigner. And I'm surprised these people are sitting there patiently waiting for a customer. I went to a store, I didn't like something, went to another store, different floor, and bought something, went back to my Airbnb. And I was just reflecting that why did I buy the particular thing from this store and not that store? This was my own resolution because I was supposed to spend my money on that particular store. And this is a little different idea. It's very common in Islamic countries. Doesn't matter what kind of Islamic countries. Probably all sorts of sects. They say that your income is already written. Income is not the right word when I'm trying to translate in English because there's no accurate translation. But your earning, your income is already set by the divine force which channel it has to come and when it has to come. So in that particular time, 2 to 2:30, I had to spend my money at a particular store so they could have that income. It just belonged to them. It didn't belong to me. And that's something I learned from more like Islamic culture. And because again, there's nothing wrong with learning things from the other cultures, other religions, and there's strength to that. You hear different perspective, right? And that's what I meant with money. But then there are other conversations too. I don't want to
yeah. I don't know if
don't
I
want-
believe that everything is fated.
faded or fate.
Fated.
Fate is also like my understanding was fate is used when you think of a final destination. But again, I don't believe in any final destination, or at least it doesn't work for me. I think final destination works for people who say, "I wanted to be a doctor and I became a doctor." That's it. But every day you meet with new challenges. Every day you meet with new successes and new failures. Every day you gain and lose.
I like to believe that we have some liberty of like pausing actions and like not necessarily have to play our part in the universe and be able to do what we want to do, That's what
You
I like to believe.
Have, and certainly I believe that we do. But there are certain things I think, this is my life experience, it's based on my life experience. What I'm saying is not theoretical. There are certain things I have no control over. I learned that. I wish I had learned that early on. I learned that recently in 4 or 5 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I was very practical, very, and I used to believe that whatever you do, just do it well, and then success is yours, right?
And that's the
And
American dream.
that's the American dream, and in general, I think people around the world are like that, who are highly competitive and hardworking and focused and all, right?
But it doesn't necessarily works like this in the world we live in, right? There's connections, there's like there needs to be like so many things that align perfectly for success.
Yeah, and success is also very subjective.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, this movie on Prime, uh, it took me 5 years to get to the distribution, and I changed distribution companies also. Now, my hope was, my understanding was, my timeline in my perfect world was that it should have been out within a year
Mm-hmm.
of its filming, right? You go there. Why? Because my friend Joe Smith went to that distribution company that helped him. Blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah. But in my case, it didn't work out that way. So now, if you ask me, I'd say this movie was to come out on the streaming service in 2025. That was the timeline for this movie. And my timeline, my resources, my understanding didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to
Okay.
explain. And I don't know if I'm doing a great job. That I had no control over it.
That's true.
Oh, now here's the thing. If now I think I'm at a better place because I learned through this movie I cannot control a timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Previously, I was the guy, oh, why can't I? Why can't I? You can curse, you can yell at your editor, you can really be angry and upset with your agents and all. But if something is not in your journey or in the plan set for a particular time or a phase, then it doesn't work out for you. And all you can do is be depressed, cry, and be frustrated and destroy yourself. Because in the end of the day, it's going to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
These people you're working with, I don't care. They might be, I feel sorry for you. But in the end of the day, it goes back to the same idea when I said I dropped the idea of doing a PhD because I was like, okay, all I need is where I could be welcomed and understood and heard uh, at a very real level, at my level.
Mm-hmm.
And that was missing in my life, but I never paid attention to it because I was fine with superficial relationships and friends and using my confidence or whatever. But that wasn't true. That wasn't real. That was a facade. And why should I go now and get another degree done just for fun to learn something? I can learn that from YouTube.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I instead invested in traveling, which was great because that was to experience others at their level, right? And probably they experienced my presence too.
Mm-hmm.